now, I'm really mad.
Hey guys, my name is Bando, this is Breaks of Bando, and I'm not sure when you'll be seeing this, as at this point I've just received my first ever copyright strike, and my last video was just taken down, which is something that was really great to receive at the same time as obviously my other bad news. Moral of the story is Germans have no sense of humour and don't understand fair use. So, this is a video that some of you have been asking for now since the announcement of the Mark III Marines. Those of you who've been following the channel for quite a while know that there was a never quite finished series which was called Detailing the Legions. And it was the idea of taking a relatively boring Mark VI Marine like this and trying to give it a bit more flavour, to look more unique, you know, like it was actually something that belonged to one of the different legions, that belonged to, you know, the Blood Angels, for example. And you've asked me to start doing this for the Mark III Marines. Well, okay, I said I wasn't going to start doing Mark III Marines until I finished my Blood Angels, but frankly I'm in a bit of a mood and decided to do something new. So what have I got? Well, I have got right here a shiny new Mark III Space Marine. Now, what you want to do obviously is tidy up all the flash, get rid of any mold lines, any gates, any bits that, you know, shouldn't be there, because these are the stages to do this. It's nice and easy to get around the model. We should be able to see everything. That's lovely. Look at the quality of that. A good mold line across a panel plate. Thank you very much. Games Workshop. Sorry if I still sound really low energy. I am. Sorry. Okay. I put it up to a vote, and the people asked for World Eaters. Happy to oblige. I don't actually have any World Eaters models. The only World Eater I've painted is a dead one on an Apothecary's base, which I'm going to try and dig out right now, which I should have prepared ahead of time. Just pretend I've prepared this ahead of time, and this is all just the magic of editing and anticipation and etc. Oh, I'm dropping everything. Oh, it's such a production quality. There we go. He has a splitting headache, as you can tell. Oh, that's going to annoy me. Okay. So what am I going to need? Well, for a World Eater, we want chain axes. Chain axes you can get either from Forge World, you can get them from Games Workshop, or, you know, just Warhammer now. So you have two options. You have resin ones and you have the plastic ones for the 40k kit. Well, the plastic ones for the 40k kit are quite expensive actually. The Berserker kit's £40. So while these are nice, these are not actually the cheapest option now, which is disappointing. I mean, you obviously do get the rest of the kit which can be used for other conversions. So yeah, that's just a bit of a disappointment, but it is what it is. So I have obviously got leftovers from a previous project, so luckily enough I have some chainsaws to use. Which is pretty handy, you know. I've also got the two Mark III pads, but I've also just taken one of the Mark III pads from the Berserker kit, because I want to see how it looks. We have a standard Mark III helmet, which is absolutely fine if that's the style of Marine you want to go for. However, I don't like them. I think they're a little bit too small, and I certainly don't think they look as good as the old Mark III helmets. However, I'm still going to use this, just not where you think. So instead I've grabbed two of the bunny ear helms from the Berserker kit, and one of them has kind of got Mark III Mark-esque leanings, or maybe even slightly Mark IV, whereas the other one is definitely a Sarum pattern respirator and has that Mark V kind of feel to it. So this is actually the one I want to go for, but I want to tidy it up first because there's a couple of things I want to remove. For example, I want to remove the Cornite symbols on here. So I'm just going to very carefully slice those away, trying to retain as many of the rivets around it as possible. Why? Because rivets are cool, and this symbol doesn't really show up during the heresy much. It is just a stylized skull, if you didn't know that. But I don't like it. I don't want it on this model for this period of time. The faction I'm depicting has been fighting since Istvan. Oh, the smell of recast resin. And they've been hunting down my Shattered Legions force. So Raven Guards, Iron Hands, Salamanders who escaped the Istvan atrocity and have now been fighting a guerrilla war against the pursuing forces. And they are being led, or the pursuing forces are being led, by a man who I want to, a conversion I want to do, called Gower the Crippled. Basically, he was just a regular Cornate, or World Eater soldier, like Praetor. And during an ambush, the Raven Guard dropped a building on him. So he now has a bit of a grudge. Okay, I'm also getting rid of the extra arrows, the more sort of Chaos Space Marine trim, just because I don't think it fits aesthetically for this model. But if you want to leave it on there, that's totally up to you. The trim generally does fit quite well. A lot of Heresy era forces had trim. They had a lot of these arrows that were stylized, the sort of right angle Roman style arrows. So nothing wrong with that at all for you if you want to keep it. I just don't. Oh, gone in a little too deep there, but that's okay. We can still smooth it out. Yeah, so I'll leave a little bit just because it does look a bit industrial and a bit more 30k in my opinion. Maybe flatten those down a bit. There we go. So just tidied him up a little bit, made him a little less Chaos Space Marine and just a little bit more regular Marine. Okay. So, how am I going to do this? Well, let's start with the body. So the next thing you're going to need to do is a 30-year-old collection bits box. No, I'm only joking. Clubmate of mine sold me or gave me an old bits box, which is just filled with not the greatest bits, but like old Warhammer Fantasy bits, random stuff, all sorts of knickknacks and that sort of thing. You know, bits from kits that you probably can't even identify. And it's great because you can use these sorts of things for all sorts of goodies. And the good thing is, with Warhammer the Old World coming back, we're going to have access to a lot of these kits again. which is great, you know, because a lot of these kits are fantastic. And this was a very common one back in the day, was to take the heads from the old Chaos Warriors and just drop them in. And it doesn't actually look too bad. It's a little tall, so you'd have to... Actually, is it a little tall? Not really. Maybe a little trimmed down, but not much. Well, there's a word bearer conversion planned. Okay, so what I wanted to do was I was going to add this random piece, which I don't know where it's from. So what I'm going to need to do is trim the back flat and just tidy up the top. So nice and simple. Kniffy. Always cut away from yourself, not towards yourself, unless you've lost the will to live. And if you have lost the will to live, please reach out to someone and try and borrow some of theirs. Okay. Now, another thing. A lot of us just stick bits on, right? We just go gloop, and then that bit sits there, right? If you're covering something, like I intend to cover up some of this bit here, there's nothing wrong with slicing this down and flattening it out a little bit. Okay? Yeah, you know it's not right, it's not there anymore, and technically, you know, the shapes are wrong, but it doesn't actually matter, because you're looking at it as a fixed perspective. So let's... Yeah, that looks fine. Now it's not going to look perfect, and I don't mind that because it is mostly going to be covered by his axe arm. But we can continue just to thin it out just ever so slightly. And don't be afraid about thinning out a part like this if you're going to be sticking it onto a flat plane, like a belly plate or, you know, a dick plate or something, because it's going to get all its structural support from the part behind it. So you can be a bit more adventurous. You don't have to worry about it snapping off. It's not like it's a top knot or a hand or an axe or something that's going to be in a delicate position. I need fire. Again, don't do this, it's dangerous. And toxic. And stupid. That should be the tagline for this entire channel. Okay, I'm happy with that. You'll see that you won't see most of it, or you won't bother, because it's going to be covered like that with the axe. Okay, and this is from the old zombie kit, which you can't really find anymore, but you can still get them on eBay from time to time. And if you're just using them for heads and stuff that are going to be on heads that are just going to be on a model like this, then you don't need to worry about them being in like really good condition. So you can just what's the word I'm looking for? You can buy them strip them. Sorry, I can't even speak today. And there's some good crossover here between the Night Lords and the Word Eaters. Word Eaters? Fucking fucking nerd. Word eaters and world eaters. I'm always getting those two mixed up. Okay. So again, I'm just trimming that a little bit flatter, just so I get a bit of a better contact with the base model. Okay. So now we get to enjoy the real awkwardness that is my super glue. The problem with this style of super glue is that the knob, or nib, whatever you want to call it, gets stuck in the other end, and then you have to go and find a pokey stick or something to go and get some glue out, and risk knocking it over like I do. Again, don't do as I say, or do as I say, not as I do. Be smarter. Now, one of the things I've done here as well is I've trimmed down his gauntlet already, because the Mark III kit does come with its own van braces. Ooh. And it helps tie the kit in a little bit better. Just a little bit. Oh, it's fallen off already. Do you want to behave? I actually don't think it's hitting any of the glue. Okay. And I've got a holster with a grenade on it that we're going to use. We might as well do all of these resin parts while I've got the glue out. So you can see here how this is not going to fit particularly well, so I probably should have checked that first, and then scrape down a bit of this leg here. If you've put super glue on something and you like, oh no, I put super glue on something I now need to work on, literally just rub your finger over it, get the super glue onto your fingers, it's so much quicker. You know, don't waste time. Acetone, if you get super glue on your fingers, nail polish remover. Oh, it's a very quick way of getting rid of it. Isopropanol can do it as well. But at the end of the day, the best one is just warm, soapy water. So I'm just concaving this a bit more, just so it fits the angle of the leg a bit more. Bit of a miscast detail there, but no whackers. It's the top that's now not sitting flush, that's fine. I'll be putting up the... I won't do a whole squad of these, I'll literally use one of the 10 man to cover most of the legions for these sorts of videos. So I will put up a community post after this goes up, and let you guys decide where the next one of these goes. Okay, so that works for me. Let's use the ever growing size of my pokey stick. Look, seriously, it's ridiculous. It's just encased in super glue. I have to go out and chop it off every now and then. The problem is it happens really, like, it can happen almost instantly, or it can take, you know, several weeks of using it before it happens, and it's just rather annoying. Okay. What we do is we leave him to dry as we do that. And just because I know how clumsy I am, and I am incredibly clumsy, I will pop the lid back on that. Now the first piece we're going to do is we're going to remove the very silly nub off the top. And then we're going to remove the nub off the bottom. Boop. And then, using our ever handy emery boards, we're just going to file this down at an angle. Or we're going to drop it. That's gone. I ain't never finding that again. That's good. Yeah, I don't know where the fuck that just went. Oh, is that it? Oh, I think that might be it. Yes, it is. Well done. Sorry about that, guys. So just file it down from an angle. Just to make it look a little like it's buried in the sand. That'll do. Cool. These bases are from Unreal Wargaming, who do some absolutely fantastic resin bases. Big shout out to them. Don't give me anything, I pay for everything. But they're really nice resin bases. They do these sunken into the rim, so the same size as a GW 32mm, but they don't you know, add too much height to your model. So what I'm going to do there is probably fill that in with some sand at some point as well, just to help pack it out. Okay. So I picked the shoulder pad because the symbol on it is very similar to the pre-heresy Legion symbol, if I remember correctly. I'm sure I'm wrong. Us YouTubers are often wrong. That's actually a topic for a video I want to do in the future. Now, good thing for World Eaters would be swapping these out for studded shoulder pads from the Mark 6 kit, 3D printed shoulder pads. I've deliberately avoided any 3D printed parts from this, but that's definitely something you can add, is 3D printed parts. Okay, so I'm just going to do this bit as well. I'll just take the back off because it's about the look. Just trim down the sides slightly. Use that as an opportunity to get rid of the mould lines. If you trim off too much of a head you're using as a trophy, it's not a problem. Just paint it up as a little bit more bloody, and you know, whoops a daisy, he wasn't as accurate with his chainsword or chain axe as he was hoping. Trim this down ever so slightly. And we want a little bit more over the ears. That should do. Building up a bits box is one of the main reasons you should buy kits and paint them from other game systems, because getting bits to work with can make your models really unique, really sort of individual. That's going to really annoy me, because I felt that hit my toe and it went miles. Oh, that's really going to annoy me. Okay, alright, I'll have to do that at the end, or maybe I'll improvise and do something different. That doesn't look as good. Anything on this sprue that I can use? No. Let's check the bit selection again. This may do. If you're going to work, make sure you work somewhere where you can't drop things. There we go. That's rather fitting as well, seeing as they're fighting Raven Guard. So what I've got here is one of the Berserker plasma pistols. I hate that they come with these bare arms. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of it. Bye bye. Just trim it down. Make sure there's no flash left on this. And that's the arm I've got to replace it with. Let's just make sure it does actually fit in place. It does. However, let's see what we've got in this bits box instead. Because I'm thinking we could find something better. No. Oh, lots of Mark 3 bits. Old Mark 3 bits too. Ah, is that what I'm looking for? Is there a Mark 6 sprue? It is indeed. Yes, there we go. Now, rather than chopping up a very valuable new Mark III arm, I can instead chop up a less valuable Mark VI arm. So all I'm going to do is that. Ooh, glad I caught that giant mould line along the top of the glove. I don't know if you can see it. If you can see it that way. There you go. Now you could pin this for added structural support, but you shouldn't need it because it is a relatively flat cut. Again, it's not really a structural position. Do is just slightly flatten out the top of this guy's head just to make it a bit of a better contact point for his foot, because we can have him stood like this. So I still want to flatten it out a little bit more. That'll do. Flatten out a little bit of this at an angle. Again, you could pin this to hold it in place, but you shouldn't really need to. Good flat contact points. It's kind of what super glue is there for. On the other shoulder pad, I'm just going to use a regular Mark III pad. You don't want to go crazy with these things. Now, I don't intend to use this pack with him. I just wanted to cover this because it's going to be something that's important for most of these. These horns, unless you are doing word bearers like Galvor back stuff, either remove them or make sure they're painted up as decoration. But generally they shouldn't be there. You know, get rid of them, trim them down. They'll look fine without it. Here's a little piece of nostalgia for you. Back in 4th or 5th edition, when we did pre-Heresy armies, what we'd do is we would take Heresy pattern, well, not Heresy, but Chaos Space Marine backpacks like this, and we would take the arms off and stick the balls back to it to make more archaic looking power packs, and that's kind of cool. It was a lot of work to do for, you know, quite a small conversion, but this guy will be getting just a regular power pack. and what I might do is pop this just over the top of it. But I'm going to leave it off for painting. And there you have it. One World Eater kit bashed from a Mark III Marine to make him look a bit more like a headhunter for the Legion, an angry man with a chain axe. I hope that helps you guys, gives you a little bit of inspiration. I hope you have some fun with these guys. I will put up a vote for the next one. Again, I apologise for being kind of low energy and being so disorganised. I hope I can do better in the future for you. I shall pop some pictures of this guy up later when he's painted as well. I will maybe do a painting tutorial for weathering white or something like that. So let me know what you think. I actually prefer this as a Khorne Berserker as well. Like, I'd quite happily paint this guy red. A couple of mould lines I can see that need removing. So yeah, please pop a comment down there. I don't know when this video will be uploaded. Again, with the copyright strike, I don't know what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do. So if I can't upload a video that's monetized or anything like that, I may have to wait to upload this. I'll have to check. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate everyone who comments and anyone who likes and shares my videos. If I can, I will be live streaming on Thursday and Friday like normal. If I can't, I don't know what I'll do. Alright guys, have a great day. Nice to speak to you all. Bye bye.